Hello, beautiful soul. It's Kirsten with Kismet, and it is time for the weekly affirmation. So, this week's affirmation is I choose to be real, not perfect. I choose to be real, not perfect. Whew. You know, the interesting thing about this affirmation is that many of us strive to be perfect. We try to respond the way we're supposed to respond, look the way we think people think we should look, act the way we think people think we should act. And we're constantly trying to be something that is unattainable instead of embracing what is real about us. And what's real about us are our flaws. What's real about us is our uniqueness. What's real about us is the way that we are different from everybody else in the world. And when we strive for perfection constantly, we're continually repressing who we truly are. We're repressing how we feel. We're repressing how we interact. We're repressing the most vital and tender and gentle and magnificent parts of ourselves. And we're not allowing ourselves to be seen and heard as we truly are. And just a little story about being seen and heard and being real and not perfect. So I'm going to see if I can bring this all tied back in a bow. A couple weeks ago, Perry and I were out cruising the neighborhood on our morning walk. And as we were going down the sidewalk, suddenly these two dogs run out at us, just barking their fool heads off. And not in a hi, happy, wagging their tail, their rear ends wiggling around kind of way, but in a get out of my yard, even though we were on the sidewalk kind of way. So Perry has been bit twice before by people whose dogs have gotten away from them and charged into the road. And so my immediate reaction, not always positive, is to yell. So I'm yelling, no, stop, stay. And I look up and the owner is just standing there looking at me like I've grown another head and doing nothing. He's just watching everything as it unfolds. And so what I did is basically said, can you please call off your dogs? And he didn't. He just said, I don't see what's wrong. And I'm like, they're out in the sidewalk and they should be in your yard. And so now at this point, we're yelling at each other. And he eventually calls his dogs and they come in and he's grumbling and I go on my way. And the perfect Kirsten would have immediately tried to get rid of that bad juju, send some loving kindness his way, and forgive him immediately, and just do everything I can to get my lightness and my positivity back. The real Kirsten, and what I actually did, is grumble and feel frustrated and get angry and a little pissed off because it wasn't my fault. And he triggered in me by not responding this part of me that does not like not being seen or heard. And so, again, the real Kirsten continued on her walk, just nibbling and festering and feeling all that churning energy inside of me. And I came to the realization that it's okay to do that. It's okay to be real and to feel what you're feeling instead of pushing aside everything and trying to just smooth it over so it's that you are responding in the perceived perfect way. And I allowed for that anger and frustration to move through me in its own time. And because I did that, I was true to myself and I was the real me. So, let's all strive to be real, to be true to ourselves, to understand what we need in each moment and to not push it down, but to embrace it. So embracing the real you, loving the real you, and not endeavoring to be what somebody else's perception is of perfect, even if that somebody happens to be you. So this week, ditch the perfect, embrace the real, and continue to do so, because the real you is the you that is the greatest gift to this world. This is Kirsten with Kismet, sending you love and light.